We were talking earlier about Anthony Albanese calling out some of the social media posts. You both know what it's like, what a toxic sewer social media can be. And the politicians, they love it. But of course, when they look at what people are saying about them, it's not much fun. Here's the Prime Minister in Adelaide today.
I have a look at what people say. Occasionally, I try not to look at comments on social media, I've got to say, but it is quite horrific. I know that during the pandemic, the need for people in leadership positions to have security because of issues that arose for their own personal safety and that of their families. But the things that people will say online sometimes are quite astonishing.
They sure are, Stephen. It is just astonishing what you can see said about yourself on social media. And politicians, they probably got to learn just not to look.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things here. I mean, if you're in our line of work or in the politician's line of work, maybe you've got to build a bit of a thick skin. But I think, he is the Prime Minister of the country. He has an opportunity here to go a long way to fixing the problem by passing laws that say you can't sign up to one of these social media accounts unless you prove your identity, because it's the anonymity that I think drives this. But, I always say that in a democracy, our politicians are a reflection of us, so we can't really blame them for their behaviour because they're only reflecting what we are. But maybe they need to take a bit of leadership and be a little bit nicer themselves. I mean, the behaviour of some of our politicians, particularly in question time, is no better than what you see on social media. So maybe take a leadership position, change the way you behave, and it might start filtering down. But I think as individuals, we all need to take a long, hard look at ourselves and just learn some manners. Yeah,
look, I half agree with you, Stephen, but the point is, Susie, some of this stuff on social media is so vile. I mean, it's death threats, it's willing death and illness upon people and their families, and with women it's often sexualised violence and stuff. I mean, in no universe do people go around the street saying that stuff to real people. It's only in social media.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Working in the media, there are groups that we write the stories. They're kind of the hot button groups. And for me, it was the home birthers, the anti-vaxxers, the neo-Nazis, some of the groups that you wouldn't necessarily expect, some of the far left feminists having a go. I'm a feminist, but I wasn't far left enough for them. And, it gets to the point where it's personal, it's nasty. I was talking about the fact that I had a termination years and years ago, and people were asking the circumstances of that and making judgments about my own children, getting very personal. And you think, I actually got my Twitter hacked, and it was the best day. I had the best time ever. I had 6 months where I didn't even have to look at my Twitter. And thanks to the home birthers, I think they were to blame for that. And it was great because too often people are hiding behind either fake names or anonymous comments. But I must say it is quite refreshing to hear a politician calling people out on social media and saying, like the Prime Minister of our country saying that he's been affected by this. And I agree with Stephen. Now they just need to clean up question time.
I got off at Twitter because it's no good for your head being in that space all the time and responding to this stuff. But I stupidly, after 2 decades of getting all this hate and vitriol from the left, now that I'm supporting the Voice prominently on this station and in the Oz, I'm getting the hate from the right as well. And I think there's nowhere to hide.